Welcome. I know it's just me right now, but anyone who tunes in, welcome into the real art world section or segment of my channel. And this is where we talk about art, we sip on coffee, tea, or water, whatever you're drinking, and we talk and spill out the beans or talk about things that are related around the topic, right? And today's topic is Kendrick Lamar. And it's such an important day today because one, it's his birthday. Yay. I don't remember exactly his birthday. I should have searched. I mean, I did looked it up, but I think he is 1988, right? So he's somewhere in his 30s, late 30s, I believe. And that is not old to me. But but it just shows how much of his growth and then where the 30s um like they know, the saying, like, oh, once you hit 30s you get dirty or whatever, or there was a nicer way of saying when you hit your 30s, oh, 30 and flirty type of thing or something like that. But I like the 30 and flirty because it means you're still thriving, you're still flourishful in a sense like that. And that's the thing about Kendrick, is that like he shows that how he's still thirst like I'm thirsty for him, as in like you can see the water here. But when I say thirsty for him, it's like like he brings out certain truths of the matter of the, if in his element he brings out the truth of things, right? When he speaks, like he has this way of just like the way he spits his bars is to like you kind of want to catch his that sounds so bad. Don't mind me on that one, but what I'm trying to say is that like his bars is like it's so deep with it. Like you get deep in his waves of like words of how deep the depths of his words. I mean, it's just so powerful. And I, again, like I said in this in my last live, but I can see that like it was really hard to hear because I put a filter, um and that was my fault. I was testing my live and I didn't know what I was doing. I mean, I did it to a certain extent, but now I see what I need to do. You right? And this is my second live and I'm learning how to work with it. Anyways, um on my first live I mentioned it, but like now I'm mentioning it in this live, is his name. His name means so much. Like when like I believe that we were named the way we were named, from the very beginning. Before we were born, God named us before we were out of the wombs. Yes, we have our parents or whatever circumstances that are named with us, but mind you, right, when God is with everybody, since he is with everybody, he kind of chooses your name. Like he already decides who you are. And not only that, once you are born with that existing name, he can change your name again. Like it shows in the Bible that he has the power and will. Like, and I think that's the one thing I realized in the, especially in the industry, that people choose somehow, like it's like kind of like them choosing their name, but like it's not without reason. Yes, there are other forces behind it, and that's another thing of being mindful of what is being influenced behind your choices of name, right? Yeah, you are the conduit and you get to choose your name, but the essence, the spirit behind everything, it just reveals who exactly you are intertwined your colleagues with, who you're working for, who is your in a sense like your savior slash your top notch, or who is governing you. Like we can go on like what is the reason behind your name, or who's in control, whatever. But anyways, going back to Kendrick Lamar's name, because I know I caught myself like drifting away for a bit. But like Kendrick Lamar's name, his name, like honestly, I've never met anyone named Kendrick before I met like heard of Kendrick Lamar. Like And then I met a second guy whose name is Kendrick, and I was like, interesting. Like, you have the name is Kendrick Lamar. Like, that was the only reference point I had, which is pretty cool. But I'm pretty sure it's common somewhere. And like, I kind of looked it up, and I guess somewhere like that name has some like some connection or roots in like European stuff too. But like that just goes to show like how his name has power, right? And that ties in what I was trying to say is that like Kendrick, when you look in like deeper into his name, and yes, names have a lot of meaning to everything. um so so I looked it up, and I forget how I came about searching his name. I don't know what brought me to it. Like, maybe because I was searching out my name, and that what brought me to like to have a deeper dive into his name, because how much of an influence he has. But what I believe, I remember, and what I was researching was that it has ties to Hebrews, right? Like, um, apparently his cousin or something like that, who one of his relatives, he's like a Hebrew Israelite, and that's what got me to be like, oh, he has some kind of connection to some kind of Israelites. And then like I'm diving deeper into the Bible and everything, the Holy Bible, and Israelites is very, very important, especially Israel itself, and then considering the whole circumstances around that Middle Eastern right now. um I think it goes to show the battle that we are witnessing in America, in the spiritual warfare that we're seeing with arts and industry and the battle of rap and everything, because it goes in again, it ties back to the word. You right? We see how wordplay is playing on the field, in the minds of others, in the minds of each other, in our fields, and how it's connected to our spiritual essence as well, how it influences us. And so we are having two opposing forces, the black and white, right? It's not just black and white though. Like, people take that a little too literally sometimes, like into skin color, when reality is not that. It's about good or evil, knowing what is good and evil, right? We have the knowledge as conduits, right, as our body physical form, to understand what are the forces in play. And so and so with that, like, I'm seeing how, like, you know Kendrick's voice, again, tying back his name. I know I'm drifting off again because, like, my mind goes off when I'm like, oh, this is how it came to be. But yeah, going back to his name like kind of has some ties to Hebrew Israelite meaning and everything. And what my research reveals is that his first name is Royal Bold, Power. Royal Bold Power. So that just already has an essence of like, okay, he's coming out with force, like he's coming with like authority, right? So like, it's like, I don't know his entire life story, and I did looked up on some of his interviews and some of like people who talk about him or have some kind of connection to him. um I think there's that guy, that Glasses Malone or something like that. I'm sorry if I said your name and don't really contribute too much on how to appropriately say your name. I'm so sorry, sir. And I did witness you on Urban Legends platform, and witnessed your interview there, and saw how you have connection with Kendrick and how you spoke highly of him too. So that just shows, like, again, but tying back to Kendrick, how his authority, spiritual authority, exists with one another, especially in the community, in all forms, from artists to, where his allegiance or his connection that led him to be connected to him in the field or not. But so that's his first name. His last name, right? I looked it up. It means like from the sea or liquid gold. And I was like, whoa, that's when you tie those two names together, it comes out like this: royal bold power from the sea, liquid gold. When you hear it like that, I get chills, like a little, like, not like chills like, scary chills, but it's just like it brings truth in my body. Like, have you ever heard anything, and when someone speaks it, it does something like vibrational wise or energetic wise in your spirits, where it kind of like electrifies you. And that ties into this mic right here that I drew and painted for him, and the electricity that comes down out of the clouds. And so, like, that's what got me into, like, wow, like I can see this picture as I was painting him, and I was picking up pictures of like what I wanted to, like, what like face expression, what, um how I wanted to like portray him, like I'm really good, like, now I can say it now, like, I'm really good with portraits. I built up on the skills to paint and draw. First I started drawing first with pencil, people, I don't know what made me want to just draw people in the beginning. Maybe because I knew it was like the hardest thing on earth to draw, so I was like adamant about, like, okay, I need to draw this, I need to draw people, because what what because it's kind of disheartening when you draw people and it does not look like them. And I have tried that, like, as a quick drawing, I was so devastated when I hate the word devastated, but I'm using it too. But like, I can see why people use that word now, but I was like distraught in a sense when I couldn't draw someone, and then did not, I mean, when I tried to draw someone and it did not look like him or them, and I was like, damn. And they will like kind of like pick on me and was like, I thought you could draw. I'm like, I can, it just takes time, and it really really does. Like, once you understand everything and understand how to draw, like, for the most part it comes down to the basic fundamentals, um of just like knowing the structures of life and everything. And so that's what I learned throughout my life, and like as I witnessed Kendrick Lamar's growth, like where is his foundations in life. And so it comes back to the roots. And sometimes the root of everything comes down to your name. Your name means something, and that comes, when I want to say that means something, is because of the fact that, like, you're not named for something like that for no reason, to be honest. Like, why do you think God, like, started start to create things? Yes, he has images of everything, right? Like, when I read the beginning of it, he said his word is bond, like binding, in a sense, like, as in, like, it's creation, like, there's ties to it. So whatever he says, it exists, in a sense. So it, like, the power of the tongue is life or death. So he created life with his mouth, or his intention, with his word, right? His thoughts. And so that's what he did. And the next thing he did after he created the earth and everything, created the birds and all that, right? And thought it was good, he created man, right, in the likeness of himself. So we are created in his image. So in a sense, we are God form or God like, but we're not God himself like that. We can't be like, okay, like, I like, we could try, but that's not the point. Like, the point is to understand where it all comes from. Like, we are not the one of all, like, that is God. One, that is God. um we are all for one. That means that all together we are parts of the pie, right? We are parts of the pie, of the holiness, of the wholeness of God, and the purity of him. And so, and I know I'm tying this with God, and I feel like I can speak on God on this platform because of the fact that, like, Kendrick Lamar mentions the Lord almost, not almost all of it, but for the most of his songs. Like, when you look back to his lyrics and stuff, that he mentions him a lot. And it's like him kind of debating and talking to God himself. And I don't know what he does in his spare time, but he does seems to have a relationship with him. And that's beautiful for me to see, because like and I think that's why his authority in his word is so strong, is because we know where it ties back to, the foundation of it. And it goes back to his name, and God blessed him so much and raised him in a way where like it kind of shows like God said, this is my child. And so and so like he has some kind of protection from God to say like, yo, I'm gonna bless you and bless you. I know all the hardships that you went through in your, you're doing your youth. um but it's gonna come out just like kind of like with all blessing. It's like I'm doing this for all of us, not just for you, but I'm doing this for all of us. And for me, mainly God, right? Praise him and raise God up to your highest standards too, because like God has something to do for you. And when I listen to Kendrick's songs, a lot of his songs, like I feel like he's not even just talking to himself. He's talking to the crowd in the ways that like as if he's also inquiring us to investing in us to do something for him as well. That's the essence of what I'm getting out of it. And it's like he's also trying to build a relationship with us. That's what it feels like. Like, yo, like I'm trying as much as I'm doing, like I'm doing my part too, but I'm also trying to get you guys to like to do something with what I create. And that's kind of the same thing what God is doing too. He's like, yo, like I did all this for you, but what are you guys doing for me? God is so good in that way that he shows us like what are you doing for me? And so when I see Kendrick doing for God, is like God, like he's being like the spokesman in the sense of like, you know God, help me help you to help them. Like this is a three-way type of thing too. It's not just me. Like but then like I know like he also mentioned in one of his songs, in Mr. Morale and Big Steppers album, um is that he's not a savior. Kendrick is not a savior. He's just what like one of us just trying to get through in life and trying to find his way, and asking God and talking to God like, dude, help me. Like I know I can't do this alone. Yes, I need to understand how to appreciate myself. And which is one of his songs that I really love, that I kind of broke it down to like not broke it down, but I was looking through to see like how deep can I get with Kendrick so I can have an understanding like his relationship with God. That's my intake of him as an artist to another, from me as an artist perspective, because that's how I draw and painted this, because like I'm trying to build that connection as well. Gotta take a coffee break. um so yeah, let me take sorry, crossing the camera. So yeah, bold royal power from the sea, liquid gold. So that kind of ties into my gold dust right here, his liquid goldness, and in the waves from the sea. Excuse me, from the sea. So like that kind of ties in, like when you think about water, right? Um, they say that we're 70% water, H2O. And that makes sense. Like I was trying to like get a better understanding, like where did this concept come from? Like even in science, they got that, broke it down or whatever, saying that we're mainly like water or bodily fluid type of thing, right? And it makes sense. Like when you really think about it, we have blood in our system. And so that is liquid form, and I'm pretty sure most of our blood is water. So maybe that's why, like that's why they break it down, like you should drink water, like drink enough water so you can hydrate yourself and blah blah blah. And it makes sense because water is life. And when you tie it back, that goes back to God. And when you read the first page in the Bible, it talks about the firmament. Firmament can mean space, water, spirits. Like that's where it starts. So like that's my understanding of the water liquid form of the sea, and why a lot of times when God talks in parables and the word of God, I mean, it speaks a lot about the oceans and stuff like that. And so, or body of the waters. And so like that's why I'm like, okay, so got it. So with the waves is very important, because not only that, it mentions about Moses splitting the water. Specifically, God did it, but God told him to do it. So like it reveals to show that Moses has allegiance to God, right? And when he split that water, that's where I'm like mainly trying to show that off, is that like he's trying to divide us from the evilness, from things that are not of integrity, that is not of God. So that's why I brought the ways in here. The feathers are here. It had a lot of synonyms as my God, analogies of like tying back to angels, the heavens, um, birds, like that's what I get out of it. And not only that, peace, mainly peace. And that's what I wish for Kendrick, is peace. And because like when I listen to a lot of his songs, like, and that's for me as an artist too, understanding not only this as an artist, it's just like human beings understanding and with emotional like empathy for others, is that I would love for all of us to find peace. And I know God wants that for us too. But the tribulations that we face and everything, the sufferings that we go through, it's for us to find peace, and that is with God. And and my way into life is seeking Jesus Christ. And so right now I'm in the process of finding, and this is like me trying to find God in all aspects of life. I'm like, and it's everywhere, honestly, but like seeing God in all his forms and how he is a living being existing all around us, just like how we kind of like brush it off or overlook it, and not like see it totally. So like, yeah, so that's where I'm like trying to tie everything. But anyways, yeah, going back to this, the feathers is for peace, for love, like tranquility, angels, like angels in disguises, and also know that like the devil himself can disguise as an angel of light. So one thing I was worried about painting Kendrick was because of the fact that I didn't want it to idolize him. I really did not want to idolize him. And I was debating with this with God, like I wish you guys understood the process of like every artist, but mainly for me as well. Like what brought me to paint this is that like I was debating with God and like, God, I want to, but I don't want to paint it in a way where like I feel like I'm idolizing him. I don't want to disrespect you, God. Like like help me. Like I really, and then I really was just like trying to avoid painting Kendrick the whole entire time I was debating, even though I initially brought like this feeling came out of somewhere and was like, I want to paint him, I wanted to draw him, but then I had to take a step back and was like, wait, that will be idolizing, and I'm not supposed to idolize anybody, right, besides God. Like he's the first and foremost everything. So I stopped and I was like, God, I'm so sorry for thinking like that. I don't want to idolize him, I don't want to disrespect you. Like now that I'm like walking this path, I have a different mindset now. And I was like having this conversation, but this calling kept calling to me like, just paint it. But I was like, I don't want to, because then isn't that idolizing? Like like I don't know where that voice or that energy was coming from, those thought processes. But like I was talking to God and I was like, help me, God, I don't want to idolize this. Like then somehow like within the last few weeks, like within 2 to 3 weeks, like from today, or even last Tuesday when I first started this, like maybe it's because I was like drifting, into different territories and talking about other things. Maybe it's because God was trying to lead me into these territories to test to test me or something. And then like, and I don't know if I got permission to do it, and that's why I felt so called last Tuesday to just like, all right, start this. And and I think that was like God's okay. Like I believe so, I hope so, I prayed on it. I was like, God, I don't want to, but I knew his birthday was coming up. And like And I guess I did like, even though I like, the thing is, I had a foreshadowing insight or premonition insight in a way, like where like I don't know if God was just trying to show me, like, because I believe that some like God gives you visions for reasons too, um, or it gives you insights or something like that, and I remember these visions now that I'm more with clarity and clear minded and everything. Like God was just like, He helps me see in a better light. Like as long as you like from my journey, my relationship with God, okay, don't take my words and make it into your way, I guess. And that's where like I think that's kind of some kind of connection of like God's words too. Don't lean on your understanding. And then so it's a very very hard relationship, I would say, or understanding of like how to not to lean on your own understanding, right? And I hope and I pray that God doesn't make this into like, and I don't know, God sees it from a higher perspective, so all I could do is just move and just like take it as it is, and wait until God bless it or discipline me. And so anyways, like, but yeah, this is my journey also as I painted this and ask God permission, like, is this okay? Because I had so many like visions of how to like paint for Kendrick, right? But then like there's one thing, I was gonna scrap this whole thing and paint something else, but something called to me, and I believe it was my spirit or God or something or Holy Spirit told me like it's okay, paint this and say that painting for another day, or painting for that vision for something else, because I need that for something else. I don't know. But anyways, yeah. So God gave like, so I felt called to just come out and just paint this because I had done seen this before. Like what I chose this version, like this face expression for Kendrick. Like he already, like, this is something you will see off the internet. So I was going through the internet just picking out pictures that I had, and I was looking at each one. I was like, okay, like I like this, I like this, I like this, you know. And I'll always ask God, like, which one do you want me to do? Like, is this one okay? Is this one okay? Like, I'm gonna pick these three or four, or whatever. I picked three, I think, and I picked three. I like two more out of three. There was I was doing a collaborative kind of work, collage of work, like his hair, multiple faces that I need to look and see how his face looked, because like I'm not in person to see him on a daily basis, which is fine, but I needed to see every kind of like different angles of him, to see his hair, how does he like his hair, like it was a weird kind of like stalking type of feel, I felt like, honestly. So like I was asking God, like, please don't make me feel like a stalker, but yeah, like, so like, but this one like called to me, I think. Yeah, this one, I don't know, like I felt like he was literally like this picture, like it was like a black and white picture, and I think I really liked that one because it was a black and white picture, and I think that kind of collaborated with the whole energy that I felt, or this kind of like theme that I kept coming across, was just black and white. My cats right now, like my little kittens, they're black and white. And so like that came like last they came like 2 months ago, and I was like, wow, like there's a serious theme right going on right now, this black and white thing. And I was like, interesting. And so that's why I picked this picture. I initially had another picture of him, like, um and it was one that he was performing with that crown, the thorns, and I felt like that's exactly what he was trying to imply, that like he's it's kind of like he's at a crossroad with himself, with like being the bearer of like the voices and stuff like that, right? And having to put out albums like in a daily or out like monthly basis or whatever is required. But I'm glad that like he didn't, because I sometimes your art can get diluted when you constantly post so much. Um, And I think that was like, it's good to, if you have that, I guess, the energy source to be outputting that much, but how much are you really truly experiencing life, and then transmuting all that into art? And I love how Kendrick does that, and I'm pretty sure like he creates all the time, but to put it out for the public to see, you know, that is the clear difference. And I appreciate that, because like as an artist myself, like sometimes I don't want to put out anything. You know, I'm like, fuck y'all. That's what it basically is for me. I was like, no, I don't really want to fuck with you guys like that right now. Right now, you know, like I'm dealing with my own shit right now. Like I need to get through my own life before I commit to y'all, you know, and understand what I'm putting out there, because I don't want to constantly put something out and something on one of my art might damage y'all because you might take it or run with it, you know. And I appreciate that him as an artist, you know, going with the divine, flowing with God, growing with his self, himself, and God, like his life, you know, going, being in life. And so yeah, this gold dust type of thing kind of reminds me of like the whole like Friday type of thing too, the angel dust type of thing. But mind you, this is not the same correlation, but it made me feel like, you know, like it just made me feel like the whole, like, you know, sprinkles, the sparkles and stuff like that. So like that's what brought me to put this over him. And then like I think it was last month, we saw that I didn't get to see it because I missed out or whatever the case is. It was just beautiful to see other people witnessing God's miracles, God's love and his blessings. But signs in the stars, signs in the sky, right? The aurora lights, the northern lights, like, so that's what this is kind of like, was for this little duster here. You can't really see it well on the camera, but in my eyes, like, it's like little sprinkles of purple, blue, green, like all that. Okay, so like that's what it's supposed to show, but also it's supposed to mimic the stars in the sky. Um and the, you know, when the Milky Way as well, because I know like the Milky Way kind of has that same kind of like feel to it. So I was like, okay, like he came from the stars like that. He sprinkles, like it's like kind of like a connection from the stars, the sky to him. And I know he mentions it before in prayer, in his song Prayer. It mentions about like his, as an artist, the talent being connected to the artist, and how like sometimes they are seen as God, because of their talent. And that I feel like that's why there's a connection to God himself, and being chosen to connect to the voice, the microphone, to speak, right? And this, the clouds here, he says he loves the mist or the clouds. And I'll get to parts of the lyrics that I got this references from, but mainly, so that's what I was doing. Like I think that's why I was like debating to go and paint him, right? But like I feel like, you know, I, to understand him as to understand his art a little bit more, because these are the art coming from him and also from God. The source is God. So I was going through all the, his, like, again, mind you, like I don't always forcefully put myself out there. I mean, as in like I don't like, because like mind you, I was debating and fighting with myself and was like, yeah, I don't really want to, you know, I don't really want to paint him, like, because I don't want to idolize him. And so like as I like kind of cut that off, the connection off like that, even though I really do have a lot of like artist sympathy and empathy and connection in some way, of honoring and like being like I guess influence in his art form. But like I didn't really want to honor him like in a way where I was idolizing him. And so like I know this is like me rambling right now, but my point is this, is that like I was just trying to get an understanding of like, why am I having this fight with myself? And so like as I was like kind of like trying to like step away from him, like it was such a weird, I would say I don't believe in coincidences, but like it was a weird coincidences where like things were just leading me to understanding Kendrick. So like I don't know, like it was weird. But like a lot of things, like especially since I do little poetry myself, so like I was just like going through the like some of his songs, like the ones, especially the ones recently with Euphoria, 616 in LA, Meet the Grams, and Not Like Us. Those four songs have been really, really strong, right? Four songs. And I've been noticing a lot of fours lately. And that's weird. Like, it's what I have a connection with four is that it's four dimensional type of thing. So in this world, whatever, for this 4D world, earth realm, and then the four, like like the end houses, the walls have four corners, so like panels are like as in like a wall, right, or foundation or connection like that, like house. And so like I was just trying to make understanding, like, okay, what is going on, like what are you trying to reveal to me, God? And but then like as I was reading through all his the lyrics behind these songs, I was seeing the bottom of these reading these lyrics, right, another reference or song connection to this current whatever song I was looking at. And I'm like, oh, let me click this one, this is calling to me. And I will literally feel that calling, be like, let me tap into that. And then I tap in, and it opens up another door, and then be like, oh, this song I've never heard from him, even though I know plenty of people may have. I'm one of those type of people who's kind of like out of touch, out of mind type of thing. Like I don't really dive in unless I feel called to. Like, and luckily I am protected in that way, so that I don't get so wrapped up and lost in the sauce, right? And so this the next song after I don't know which song it was. I think it was Euphoria. But I looked up Euphoria first when it came out. I looked at the lyrics. I was like, damn, this is so crazy. Oh man, water gone. So let me go and tap into Euphoria. So this is okay. Let me just talk about Euphoria real quick. So Euphoria came out on April 30th, I think. And in response to Push Up and Tailor Made Freestyle, we're not going to talk much about Push Up and Tailor Made because it's about Drake, but I understand it ties around Kendrick, because it kind of came off of like that record or that song. I think it was with Future or somebody. I'm sorry, like I don't. I have to research this. I did listen to it, but it was just more like I'm not. It didn't call to me for me to be like, oh yeah, I know what I'm saying type of thing. Like, sorry guys, but like I'm saying, like when I do my research, I do my research. Okay, what I reveal. So mind you, I'm not all well like up to date to certain things. So if I get something wrong, correct me, guys. I'm open to being corrected. But yeah, going back to Euphoria, it his album or that picture of his song, right, for this in especially on YouTube, a feeling of well-being or elation, and that was just kind of like the description or definition of the word. And it breaks it down to like saying like, okay, yo, like we're, like it's kind of like a drug type of thing or feeling, and I was like, okay. Then the next one, it says almost a week to recover of Tuesday series winning. So that is wow, because like after that song, it to me it felt like it did take a week or about two or whatever. Like, and I say week, and it may come in many forms. Like this is the thing about art, or like understanding the process of everything. Like a week may actually seem like another day or another month or something like that to a different dimension, right? Some people will take week a literal week, but not in God's world. Like God's world timing is different. So like the song, the first line is that them superpowers getting neutralized. I can only watch in silence. The famous actor we once knew is looking paranoid and now is spiraling. You're moving just like a degenerate. Every antic is is feeling distasteful. I calculate you're not as calculated. I can even predict your angle. Fabrication stories on the family front. Cause you heard Mr. Morale. A pathetic master manipulator. I can smell the tells on you now. You're not a rap artist. You're a scam artist with the hopes of being accepted. Tommy Hilfiger stood out, but Fubu never had been your collection. I make music that electrify him. You make music that pacify him. I can double down on that line, but spare you this time. That's random acts of kindness. No, you are a master manipulator and a habitual liar too. But don't tell no lie about me, and I won't tell truths about you. So let me break this down. I know some you guys are already like in tune or in like in connection and like already other reactors and everything like that have already broke this song down. But when you really like, that's the thing about reactors. Like I love reactors because like again that was just a natural response to something so amazing like this. Like you had to get on top of this. But now that everything is kind of like settled and you actually understand the words and like let it come through you, let it wash you and like take you deeper into the meaning of the words, I feel like you get the better substance of what he's saying, right? And that's what I was feeling. The waves is like not only did he started it, but I was caught onto the waves of everybody else, like flowing with everybody, like sailing with everybody, understanding what's going on. But it was getting rocky, not gonna lie, with all these other songs getting popped out, right? I'm like, whoa, another song, another song. So those are like kind of like waves and splashes and stuff like that. But anyways, so the superpowers, whatever like Drake feels like he has powers, like what he thinks he has, like, and then superpowers can mean anything. Where are you getting your power? Are you doing dark magic or something, black magic behind the scene or something, or are you using like witchcraft and warlocks do their magic differently? They use other people, drain each other down. Like they get their source from things that are not godly, and that's why it comes out like um seems like superpowers, but reality is like, yo, you're getting your substance from somewhere else, and we can see it, like, because I'm getting messed up, like euphorically wise, like it's wrong. And not only like, okay, going back to the euphoria, the title itself goes back to that show that is, starred by what's her name? Freak, I just had her name. I like her as an actor. She's a singer too, and um and a model. Freak. I know she plays in Spider-Man. You guys know who I'm talking about. I just can't think of her name right now. Um it's blinking out. I don't know why she's blinking out right now. I see her face and everything. I was compared to her for some reason. But anyways, yeah, like she plays in that, and I don't know what Drake did in that show or whatever, how he's been playing in there. But a lot of rumors, allegations were saying that he tried to act like he was the shit there, and like he runs the place and everything, and so like that's interesting that it got played. Like he chose that word, but not only that, guys. Mind you, when I was looking up this. The lyrics to this also led me to another song, which we will get to in a second. But Euphoria, you know, and then so like yeah, like the degenerate and the antics and everything, and he can calculate everything, and like no. And I will tie this back to another song because he does say like he can read his angle, and like in a sense he felt like a prophet in some way, but in a lot of cases, when you're around a lot of people, you can see like behavior patterns, patterns, right? And it just shows like the matrix, the way that the demon or devil comes in many forms. And so like that's why the way they move. When you see the way they move, you can see how they like jump bodies and stuff like that, and how like that similar behavior or antics comes out, and you're like, oh, I found you. You need to get out of my space. You need to get cut down. Like we're talking to this is a spiritual warfare. We're not battling flesh for blood, like that. It's a warfare in the dominions, the powers that be, like things like that. Like, so anyways, fabrication stories on the family front cause you heard Mr. Morel. I believe like yes, the Mr. Morel, like sometimes people misread or hear like what his music was, because when his album came out 2 years ago, um I heard a lot of people's perspective on that. I was like, that's what you got out of that? Like, it's just like, it's baffling sometimes where people's minds come in many shapes and forms when it comes around this kind of art form. So that's why I was just like, what the heck is going on? Like, what are you guys on? But anyways, but like that just makes it comes back to like the whole like where the next rollout, right? The drum roll and everything else that followed through after Euphoria, um, like when he put that on the 616 in LA, I feel like that was more like, yes, it was like kind of like him having like a morality battle too. Like, damn, like did I just do that? Like, but then like he kind of shaped himself up. He was like, no, this is a battle. Like, this is a battle. I'm not just only facing Drake. I'm not only facing Aubrey. I'm facing the devil himself, you know? And any spiritual forces that is against God, basically. And so that's what I felt like that 616 in LA. But not only that, there was a lot of like theories about that. And I believe that there's so many truth to that. But anyways, not trying to get off topic, but when Family Matters came out, that's why I feel like this kind of tie into the family front, because you heard Mr. Morale. Like he felt like he knew what was coming out. Maybe he has a mole in the industry, or he was blessed by God that showed him revealed to God revealed to him what was going to happen next. That's why he was like, I can predict it because God already revealed it to me. And so that's why I was really interesting to this. And you're not a rap artist, you're a scam artist. And again, like I feel like it's a constant theme that around Drake that God was trying to reveal to Kendrick, like, yo, like he's doing people's wrong, like especially artists that are trying to come up and everything. And so like we can go on about the whole theory, like what's happening behind the scene, everything around Drake, but I will save that segment for another time, because this is about Kendrick's day. This is about Kendrick. It's his birthday. This is all about what God did for Kendrick. Okay, and so because like God, we were born into a purpose, a calling for a reason. So we're all pieces of the great Maker, right? Anyways, let's see. And then we can talk about the electrifying, which is the hero. That's why I got the electricity tapping the mic, because that's what I really felt. I was talking about the sensation of the euphoria I was telling you about, like being electrified to be like to be like, and I feel like that's what was calling to me, because as the more I got in painting to getting around this art piece, like I felt like one, I had to get to understand him, and I was getting led by everything that was related to him, but also like what God calls me to understand, because I didn't do it on my own accord. Like I was like really like, okay, I need to look up all of Kendrick's songs, like this and that. No, no, no. God was like, I need you to now look up his songs, and I did. And then after that, I was like, okay, I see what he's saying. Cool, cool, cool. Then after that, like I seen the bottom, like, this is really calling to me to tap onto this. I was like, should I? And then I looked at it, and then this is where it led me, guys. If I can look it up, where is it? I'm making a mess. Okay, it led me to "War Is My Love." Right, that's what that song "Euphoria" led me to. Verse 1. Look inside my eyes and tell me you see a warrior. I never felt the feeling of euphoria, pain forever, or prolong the pros and cons of prosperity and strong. Wake up in the morning and I gotta win. Not taking the victory, that's my only sin. And so I send a message to your messenger, a warning shot to let him know I'm serious. I'm ready for a war. When I roar, it can break a glass window. The only thing for sure, the perfect way to bend you on your back, even if I gotta slit it through the cracks, I can crack every code you deliver. I attack every hole where the bomb squad sit it on the trip bin. Even if you try hard, he can still die hard. Run, but you can't hide. White flags, you can pull. Oh my god, I wish I wasn't so bad in my hand. Pull a fast, pull out fast, pulling out fast, and tell me your last goodbye. And verse 2, make sure your next move is slick. Your best move is nothing. You know I take risks, dark clouds. I love it because I can hide in the midst, hop out, and crush every soldier you're with. So I'm 6 for 6. I'm sick with determination. I'll terminate you quick. I lead the pack. I follow no rules. I see the traps. I know you're close to falling on your face. Unload, reload, hand me another case. Explode, explode. The fire of my eyes is waiting on your demise. I know you hope your help is close by. I will climb the highest mountain before the flood comes, and all my fight is drowning in blood. What I gotta lose, what I gotta prove. I guess war is my love. So I'm sorry I stumbled on the words. But those are not my words. Those are Kendrick's words, and hit like as in he's the one who wrote the song. But I know where the powers may be coming to spirit form. Um, like that's just the spirit of everything. But anyways, so you can see that connection, how like those connection, that like war is my love. Like a lot of it, like when you really take the time to you research the songs from Kendrick, he does a lot of back to back. And I love that because it's the same thing as the Bible. When you read the Bible, like it does a lot of like connection. You have to go back and forth. And that's what I did a lot, like understand. I was like, wait, I seen this over here. And so I'll go and I'll do my best to go back to this page. Those pages were like, huh, interesting. And then I felt like that was like coordinates, that God will lead me to and understand, help me understand like where God has been and where he put his play, like his intention. When you play chess, you know. And when you play chess, you know where you went wrong. Literally, you can see like, damn, I wish I never made that move. I wish I did move this first before I moved that. Like you see it, you completely see those moves. And so that's the same play that's happening in the spiritual warfare behind songs, especially the rap battles here, or the rap of the songs here. And so like that was like a beautiful thing that I experienced when I'm witnessing. That's why there's electricity is here, the clouds, because he can hide in the midst. That's why the clouds are there too. And I like this face of Kendrick because it felt like he was just like taking in God's blessings, God's love, and his warmth, and everything that comes with life, right? And the feathers again. This one, the feathers came from Count Me Out. Um, one of these lives, I'ma make things right. With the wrongs I've done, that's when I unite. With the Father, Son, till then I fight. Rain on me, put the blame on me. Got guilt, got hurt, got shame on me. Got 6 magazines that's aimed at me. Uh, I, I wish I wish I didn't write this so stupid. Don't I do I done done ever magazine, what's fame to me, it's a game to me. I probably said that wrong. It's game to me. Where the bedroom at sleep, I ain't never had affairs with that. What's fair when the hearts and the words ain't reach? What's fair when the money do it don't take things back? It's rare when somebody take your dreams back. I care too much, want to share too much, in my head too much. I shut down too. I ain't there too much. I'm a complex soul. They layered me up, then broke me down, and morality dust. I lack in trust. This time around, I trust myself. Please everybody else but myself. All else fails. I was myself. Outdone fear, outdone myself. This year, you better won yourself. Mask in the babies, mask on up, on and up. Wear masks in the neighborhood stores you shop. But a mask won't hide who you are inside. Look around the reality carved in lies. What my ego dodge my pride. Look myself in the mirror, and then it goes on, and I write I wrote this last verse or of that song. I mean, last parts of that verse. Every emotion been deprived. Even my strong points couldn't survive. If I didn't learn to love myself, forgive myself 100 times, dog. So I feel like that kind of tops, like, I don't know, like I can make a lot of connections with this, like especially with Top Dog and the industry itself. Like, you know, like literally, like there's all points to this, and Count Me Out was literally like I felt like people were talking about how like he doesn't make albums enough or like he doesn't put out a lot. I'm like, damn, like dude, do you not see the song? That's why he has to. It's like it's sad that he has to explain himself, but it's sometimes it's good so that people can see like, yo, like I please everybody else but myself. Like what the fuck is wrong with y'all? Like let me live basically. And so like that's where I love this song to Count Me Out. And I know a lot of people love this one because a lot of people do feel counted out. I participated in this interlude album discussion, especially around this album in 2022, and it was such a beautiful thing because when the rest of his album dropped, after Heart Part 5, I was like, I was on top of it. I was because one like we knew it was coming, and so but before I participate in this interlude discussion, I wanted to hear all his songs, so I listened to all his songs, and I never ever, mind you, never ever go out my way to listen a whole person's album. I've never ever done that, which is crazy because like a lot of times it was like I didn't really have that much of a connection to an artist like that, unlike Kendrick. To be fair, honestly, like to listen to every song like with such depth like that, I was like that's why I felt so connected to Kendrick. I think I did it for Weekend, but not like in a way where I'm doing it for Kendrick. And I think that's because he was helping me grow out of whatever it is that situation I am in. Like, and then like Weekend was like great and everything, but I felt like he was also lost in the sauce and going through the waves too and everything. Like just like I couldn't grow out of that, but Kendrick helped me grow out of it. And so I shut down two part. Like dude, I do that. Like I do that a lot, and I know people out there know that I do that. Like I completely shut myself in, out, or whatever, and shut the world out, and just like dwell in my own shit and understand what the fuck is going wrong with me and everything. And because I understand how you always provide for people, and that's why like in this album, literally like Mr. Morel, like I was in tears, like not like completely tears, but I had me teared up. I was teary eyed or whatever. I was like crying in my own way. And I was like, damn, somebody finally gets me. Like that's what I felt like for me. Somebody finally gets me, at least a celebrity that I can really connect to and bring tears to my eyes. And I don't know if we can, if like, I don't know like what other artists have done that for him. But for me, as like from artist to artist, like I'm just like, dang, thank you. Basically, thank you for like, getting me to tear up. Thank you for letting me cry, let it out. And so the mask on here that talks about it, and that kind of connects to like the whole war is my love, and I think that also connection to um Drake, where it says one shot for the year, and that's like that was like the whole connection, and to me the triangulation of that, of how he was pinpointing like, yo, like you better walk around like Daft Punk. And so that was interesting. But yeah, that was my breakdown of that song. But let me start with what song got me into Kendrick. Like, I guess I probably heard other songs and everything by him, but what really dived me into like basically in the mess, and I think that's why I appreciate Kendrick a lot more, as a rap artist right now, or whatever, an artist, mainly an artist, but swimming pools. I know everybody have heard that song because that's what got us all lit, right? Like got us all into the party mode, and that's what the song was about. But mind you, the intro: pour up, drink, headshot, drink, Sit down, drink. Stand up, drink. Pass out, drink. Wake up, drink. Fade it, drink. Fade it, drink. So, drink kind of reminds me of Drake. The way it is said, and then like not only that, because it ties me back to take a shot for me. Like I really like that song from Drake, but I realized that was like a weekend song, and I was like, what? No wonder you're having all this beef. But anyways, the um that take a shot for me, that was like a lot of like in like weird spiritual form. When you really listen to it, when you really listen from a spiritual higher site or version or higher realm, when you say take a shot for me, like, what do you think? You really think about taking like literally liquor shots? No. Like, I mean, you can, yeah, but like when you really think about it, you're like, so you would die for this guy. That's what it says. What it basically is, that's what it sounds like, when you know, and so like that was like, whoa, like I'm not gonna die for Drake. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You know. I'm sorry, I don't like and then, like, but it was weird that he tied it up at the end of the song like a prayer. That's what got me into that song, is that prayer. Like that's what made me appreciate Drake, when he had that prayer at the end. But the rest of his life, literally, like the rest of his songs, I don't hear God anymore, honestly. And so like what I think it was, to be honest, is like Kendrick as being the opposing force, as to remind Drake, like, yo, you're not Drake. Honestly, you're Aubrey. Aubrey, God is calling you back home. Listen, listen. That's what I feel like. That's what I truly feel like. That's what's happening in the spiritual form, is because like he did that prayer, and I believe like it's like his soul been crying out for help, but he doesn't know how to ask for help, so he just dives into all the mess in the world affairs, right? But yeah, um and then like, I can go on with the rest of the song, the verses and everything, but I mean, I guess I could go through it, but I'll go through it. Now I done grew up around some people living their life in bottles. Granddaddy had the golden flask backstroke every day in Chicago. Some people like the way it feels. Some people want to kill their sorrow. Some people want to fit in with the popular. That was my problem. That was my problem too. Um, I was in a dark room, loud tunes, looking to make it rose soon. Vow soon that I'ma get fucked up, filling up my cup. I see the crowd mood changing. Uh, man, in the minute, and what's it called? Record on repeat. Took a sip, then another sip. Then somebody said to me. Then it goes and talk about why are you babysitting with one or two shot, right? And then it goes into verse 2. Okay, now open your mind up and listen to me, Kendrick. I am your conscience. If you do not hear me, then you will be history, Kendrick. I know that you're nauseous right now. I'm hoping to lead you to victory, Kendrick. Um, if I take another one down, I'ma drown in some poison, abusing my limit. I think I'm feeling the vibe. I see the love in her eyes. I see the feeling the freedom is granted as soon as the damage of vodka arrive. This is how you capitalize. This is parental advice. Apparently I'm over influenced by what you are doing. I thought I was doing the most till someone said to me. And that's another thing. This is the connection that also that I feel like this swimming pools that got me into it. Understanding is like we were feeling the vibe, but we weren't listening to the words, right? Truly listening to the words. And then in his third verse, he talks about it basically like, yo, like, if you're in the same problems as me, you're fucked up as me too. But it's because someone said to me, right? And that's another thing. We get influenced by what someone say to us. We get influenced or peer pressured by other people telling us, yo, you slacking, you ain't doing shit. And so mind you, that is demon, like the devil's work. They trick you out of position. They trick you into thinking, you ain't cool enough. You ain't doing, but it's to trick you out of God's placement. Basically that's how I see it now. That like, you know, when they try to like you have this conscience. The conscience is like self-preservation, but also God's way of talking to you, because God cares for you too, and trying to preserve you and keep bring you to peace. But all this mess, the drowning in the mess, is literally just trying to get you all messed up and, bent around and everything. Like, that's why I feel like the wave is very important, because um like, what pool are you in? Yeah, the ocean is nice and everything, which is where we kind of come from or whatever. But what other pools are out there, like the toxic fumes, like the ocean, the poison? And that's like a lot of things that I noticed, like, is that connection would take a shot for me. Like, dude, you're in a fine balance of good and evil, and that, but you get influenced, like, you won't overindulge really, unless something tells you to do it, right? And that's like, comes back to the Adam and Eve, with the serpent in the garden telling Eve, just take a bite, dive deeper, get in the mess. So, like, it's this show, like, words have power, always has. And that's why freedom of speech is powerful, but also dangerous grounds. And so, like, it's one of the things I really wanted to talk about with Kendrick. But yeah, Mother I Sober is another piece I wanted to touch base on by Kendrick. I didn't, write up the verses, because I didn't make time for it, but also it's just from what I remember from that album, or that song, is that, like, basically he talks about his interaction with his mom. And um and if it's not about his mom, it's about someone else, about and it, or like, relating to someone else. But I don't know, but I feel like it's about his mom, or how his mom came out and was like, yo, did he touch you? Did uncle touch you, or whatever? Like, it doesn't even matter who, but the connection is strong. It's like somebody out there, not just him, somebody else, like, in the family front, like, as in, like, that's why I feel like this album made me cry and grew out of my own demise, right? um we all, not all, but somebody has encounters, like, someone or someone you might know, or whatever, or you yourself has encountered someone who has touched you. If not, someone was worried about someone touching you, right? And that's where, like, maybe it was true, no one touched you, and I like, and that's was, like, important for me to understand, like, that's what I was doing too, when asking my family too, like, asking my siblings, like, did he touch you? Because I was violated, and that's why I was just like, yo, what happened? Like, did anything happen? And I just was trying to get them to speak up, so they don't have to fear, because they know my story, so I just wanted to hear their story, right? And that, I wouldn't call it a story, my bad. I wanted to hear their side. I wanted to hear their truth. I want to hear them. And so, like, that's why I wanted them to speak up if there was anything. And I don't know if they were scared. I don't know. Like, they don't really know. I don't know. Um, and so, like, I realized, like, and, like, I'm not perfect either, like, and that's why I relate to Kendrick too, is because, like, we have a lot of wrongs. Like, like, maybe I don't know what wrongs he did, and then I'm not trying to pinpoint it right now, but uh I know the truth. I know the truth. God knows the truth, and so, and the people that around me knows the truth. So I know I did my wrongs, and I'm trying to make it work. And in one of the songs that he did, it talks about regret. It was back in the Count Me Out, which is, Miss Regret, I believe that you done me wrong. Miss Regret, can you please exit out my home? Miss Regret, I think I'm better off alone. Miss Regret, I got these regrets. Some things I can't forget. Lord knows I try my best. You said it's not my best. I came up out of my flesh. Something's up, must confess. Spoke my truth, pay my debt. Can't you see I'm a wreck? Can't let me loose. I digress. This is me. I'm blessed. I'm blessed. Like, it's just like, so, like, we all go through this. I know we all, like, and I think that's why God kind of tries to remind us that we're all sinners. And once you dive into his world and dive in his place of peace and sincerity and his heaven's gate, right? His heaven's gate, which is through the Bible, and understand Jesus and the Christ, and how to understand, like, what bloodshed means, right? Is like, is because is to get us to get out of our own flesh to understand the spiritual warfare that is happening above us, around us, or like, like, is to uplift us in different ways. And not last but not least, oh yeah, I want to point out this butterfly here and the sprinkles and everything. The butterfly has so many meanings. It reminds me of I Am Legend 2, where Will Smith in this, like when he plays with his, as whatever he is, and his wife, and Willow was in that one, and then Willow was like, "Look, it's a butterfly," like not only that, but like also he was like in his album, I think it, To Pimp a Butterfly. This butterfly means a lot of things, but another thing why I brought this butterfly up is because I was on a panel or platform or whatever on here, and I forget her name. It started with a T, I think. No, I don't remember. I'm sorry, but it was on Tisa Tell's chat platform, and she had a butterfly necklace, and I had a weird vision or something like that, where I was supposed to be there to listen to her, and she showed me her strength, her how God protected her, and how her truth is coming out, and how she gets to share it. So it was beautiful to see. But I don't know. I have a weird tendency to look around to, but listen to her at the same time. And the butterfly really, really called to me, and so that's why, like, a lot of this stuff that I put on this painting is the process coming to be, to and what brought me here. I was gonna add a dove and everything like that, but I think the feathers kind of like the wings kind of like simplified it. But the butterfly was very important to add because like I was listening to her, and I was like, dang. And a yellow butterfly, literally, I've been seeing a lot of yellow butterflies lately, and I think that's why like this is very important to me, and also white butterflies. But yeah, so this is why the yellow butterflies here. And I asked Sparkles here too, the rain. I added rain here. You can't really see it on here, but I did add it. And I'll get a little close up for y'all to see everything. But yeah, like the rain, I feel like where there is no rain, then there is no um where there's no growth. I think that's the whole point. So like he helps me cry my stuff out. That's why he washed me, and like I was planning to add some green leaves in here, but I think the true growth is in my art. The true growth is within me, and so that's where the green is at, you know. And and so like that's where like my breakdown of this too. I had initially wanted to like blend in his face, which I could have done, which could still do, but right now this is where I'm settling on right now. But I wanted to blend it with the sparkles of the gold dust, but and the purpose of that was just to show like like even when we break down and come apart and fade away or sparkle or come to be, like your essence is still matters somewhere, like even if it's not here on this kind of kingdom, the earth's kingdom, but in heaven's kingdom you will matter somewhere, in spiritual form. And God works in miraculous ways, so like I don't know where it will lead. He has a higher purpose for all of us, and so yeah. But yeah, the mic, the having the power of voice is so beautiful, and that's where I think it's nice that I'm on here to show. But let me give you a close up. So and there's Kendrick Lamar's name, one of his albums, I guess. And now I hope you can see the sparkle, 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 sparkle. See that? There's the sparkles. But yeah, that is my live tune today. And if you catch me on the replay, thank you. If not, It's okay. I'll catch myself there. Peace.